Nothing to see here, officer.
Hello? Hello, hello? Uh, 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 uh,
Nothing to see here, officer.
Hey, boss. How's it hanging? $3. Gee whiz. Thanks, sir. 9 more of these, and I can finally afford a can of soda. God, I love California. See ya, sir. Have a good one.
Hello? Hello, hello?
Hello? Hello, hello? Um, uh, uh. eh, um, eh, um, eh, um, uh, 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 um, uh, 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 uh. Hello, hello, hello. Uh, um, uh, uh.
Sure, Shug. What's up? Sure, of course. I've worked with a good few at this point, hon. Any particular model you have in mind? Harry. That's Harry, all right. Because, Sugar, that was his alive name. All phonies have alive names. You think I was born a Scotty? My name was Rebecca. I was a hairstylist before I was a phone gal. We all had other lives before this, the length and quality of which varied. Oh boy, you could barely remember it, hun. He's told me a good bit from after he became a phone guy. His responsibilities, having to write company logs after his whole boss died. Hell, he was even put in charge of tracking down a rogue phone guy who was out searching for his lost kids and ended up calling off the search out of pity alone. Harry's a sweet soul. But, well, he's a Generation 1 model. Meaning, he's a relic from the 1970s. Generation 1 models never remember much from before the phonification process. But Harry has demons, and those inner demons pursue him even now. Some things you just can't leave behind. Harry was a young man when he had his accident. I always found that particularly tragic. He fought in Vietnam, you know. I can only imagine how many death-defying situations he came out of in those jungles, only to die in a bear suit. It's so ridiculous that I feel angry just thinking about it. I sure hope he doesn't feel the same way. It's honestly pretty hard to think about. He was still barely old enough to fend for himself, even after he got home from the war. Got a part-time job at the local Freddy's joint, ended up excelling at his career. He survived a war and lived a soldier's life. Order and routine came naturally to him. But then... well, I needn't gossip. Well, you know, usually in a lot of cases, phone guys tend to remember their past lives and try to find their old families. But in this case, the opposite happened. When Harry went missing, well, his family came looking for him. They knew where he worked, after all. Even with his ridiculous phone head, his mom recognized him instantly. Mother's intuition, I guess. Ran over to him. "Harry, we've been worried sick about you. Take that dumb phone hat off and come home." He had no idea who they were. His mother looked into his eyes, or lack thereof, I suppose, and said his name over and over. He didn't recognize them. He couldn't recognize them. Harry's manager came in at that point. An older model, a guy named Abel. One of the original 5 managers. A real bastard of a boss. He was the second model of phone guy, and it shows. God, he was barely a human at all. When he died in a shooting, Harry took over writing company logs for Fassbender Entertainment. Which is why he ended up at the factory with me, since it's basically Fassbender HQ. Sorry, off topic. Anyway, he kicked them off premises and had them removed by police for harassing his staff. Harry just stood there while his own mother was dragged off premises, calling out to him by name. Harry never really opened up much while I knew him, as close as we were. He broke down only once, and when he did, he told me that. I don't think he even really believes that he is Harry. But, well, I think it's a fantasy of his. The idea that someone cared enough to come look for him. It's no problem. Do be kind to Harry, won't you? I wouldn't bring any of this up with him, but, well, just show him that you care, I guess. He needs to know that people, care about him, and Sorry, take care, sir.
Hello? Hello, hello? Uh, 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 uh,
I am the yeast of thoughts and minds.
Oh, well, look who it is. So, you found me. Bravo. Where else would you slaughter a Godzilla, old sport? That's what the room was built for, wasn't it? Minimum wage work and blood. Godzilla's blood. Are you telling me that you can tell the difference? Can you taste the difference, old sport? Sounds like you're the weirdo here, Sportsy. Not me. Not Paul, baby. Oh, get down off your high horse, Sportsy. I know what you did, old sport. I've been snooping through your company records, now. Looking through your past business ventures. You know, I had to wonder, when Van Bendis Fright, the horror attraction was set up, it seemed to scream sportsy. A perverted sentimentality, a fixation on a brand that nobody even cares about anymore, but twisted and horrific. It had you all over. I thought for sure that, if you were still around, I'd spawn you there in no time. And yet, there was never an old sport inside. What? Now that I've seen your records, my God, it was so obvious. Of course you went inside, working in there. You were the asshole standing outside, throwing gasoline over the building. You gathered all of the pieces in one place, just to burn it all down, with me inside. It's no wonder you didn't salvage me this time. You think you can attempt to burn me alive, and then just kick me out on the kite when you fail to burn me in that fire, along with the rest of the trash that this company has produced. I'm slippery, old sport. I got out of that phase and building. I didn't whine, and I came back. I always come back. Sportsy, failing to snag me in flames when you had the chance was the biggest mistake that you've ever made. This kid's gonna die because of your bad choices, Sportsy. You're gonna know what it feels like to ride, like I did. Oh, no, Sportsy. Step any closer, and I'll cut this kid's throat. You know I'll do it. Down in my element. I don't care if there's a million kids out there, or a billion cops. You've chosen poorly, Sportsy, and this kid is gonna suffer great fucking circumstances because you. Hey, you. Yeah, you. This is between me and the orange in the suit. You get out. Step any closer, and the kid will get it own face. I. Oh. Sportsy,
I have a message for you, Dave. It comes not only from me, but every child you've hurt inside any Freddy's restaurant. You're outnumbered. We aren't afraid of you, and we aren't gonna let you hurt anyone else. You're outnumbered, Dave, and we aren't gonna tolerate you any longer. Now get the fuck out of my restaurant before I tear you limb from limb.